Imagine a grand city built on a lake with temples that reach for the sky. These temples were not just architectural marvels but also spiritual centers where the Aztecs connected with their gods. This was Tenochtitlan, the heart of the Aztec Empire. The Aztecs were a powerful people who lived in what is now Mexico. They were skilled warriors and builders, but their world was also full of gods and goddesses. They believed these powerful beings controlled everything around them. The Aztecs were deeply religious. Their lives were woven with rituals and ceremonies. They believed that keeping their gods happy was vital for their survival. This belief shaped their daily lives, their laws, and even their wars. The Aztecs left behind a rich legacy of myths, legends, and archaeological wonders. These continue to fascinate us today, offering glimpses into a world both familiar and profoundly different from our own. The Aztecs were also masterful artists and craftsmen. Their intricate carvings and vibrant murals tell stories of their gods, their history, and their daily lives. The famous Aztec calendar stone, for instance, is not just a timekeeping device but a work of art that encapsulates their cosmology and understanding of time. Agriculture was the backbone of the Aztec economy. They ingeniously created floating gardens, known as chinampas, to maximize their farming output. These fertile plots of land allowed them to grow a variety of crops, including maize, beans, and squash, which were staples of their diet. Trade was another vital aspect of Aztec life. Markets were bustling centers of commerce, where goods from all over the empire were exchanged. From precious stones and metals to everyday items like food and clothing, the Aztec markets were a testament to their sophisticated economy and far-reaching trade networks. The Aztecs were also formidable warriors. Their military prowess was unmatched in the region, and they expanded their empire through a combination of diplomacy and force. Their warriors were highly trained and equipped with advanced weaponry, making them a dominant force in Mesoamerica. Religion permeated every aspect of Aztec life. They believed that their gods required regular offerings and sacrifices to maintain balance in the world. Human sacrifices, though brutal, were seen as necessary to appease the gods and ensure the continued prosperity of their society. The Aztecs also valued knowledge and education. They created detailed codices that recorded their history, religious beliefs, and scientific knowledge. These texts provide invaluable insights into their civilization and continue to be studied by scholars today. The legacy of the Aztecs is a testament to their ingenuity, resilience, and cultural richness. Tenochtitlan, with its grand temples, bustling markets, and intricate art, remains a symbol of their extraordinary civilization. Even today, the echoes of the Aztec Empire resonate through the annals of history, reminding us of a time when gods walked among men and a mighty city rose from the waters. The Aztecs believed in many gods and goddesses. Their pantheon was vast and diverse, reflecting the complexity of their world and the natural forces they sought to understand and appease. Each deity had a unique personality, domain, and set of responsibilities, making the Aztec religion a rich tapestry of myths and legends. Each one had a special role to play in their lives. From the moment they woke up to the time they went to sleep, the Aztecs felt the presence of these divine beings. They believed that their gods influenced everything from the weather and the harvest to their health and success in battle. There was a god for the sun, Huitzilopochtli, who was one of the most important deities. He was the god of war and the sun, and the Aztecs believed that he needed daily nourishment in the form of human blood to keep the sun moving across the sky. A goddess for the moon, Coyolxauhqui, who was depicted as a powerful and sometimes vengeful figure. Her story is one of conflict and transformation, reflecting the changing phases of the moon and its influence on the earth, and gods for rain, like Tlaloc, who was essential for agriculture. The Aztecs depended on his favor for their crops to grow. There was also a god for corn, Centeotl, who was central to their diet and culture. Even war had its own deity, Huitzilopochtli, who inspired warriors and guided them in battle. These gods were not seen as distant beings. They were deeply integrated into the daily lives of the Aztecs. Priests performed elaborate rituals to communicate with the gods, seeking their guidance and favor. These rituals were a vital part of maintaining the balance and harmony of the world. They were a constant presence, involved in every aspect of Aztec life. From the grand ceremonies held in the temples to the small offerings made at home, the gods were always near. The Aztecs believed that by honoring their gods, they could ensure prosperity and protection for their community. The Aztecs built grand temples to honor their gods. These structures were architectural marvels, designed to reflect the glory and power of the deities they housed. The Templo Mayor, for example, was a massive pyramid that stood at the heart of the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan. They brought them offerings of food, flowers, and precious objects. These offerings were a way to show gratitude and devotion and to seek the gods' blessings. The Aztecs believed that by giving to the gods, they would receive their favor in return, but the most important offering was something far more precious: human life. Human sacrifice was seen as the ultimate gift to the gods, a way to repay them for the life and sustenance they provided. The Aztecs believed that the gods needed human blood to stay strong. This belief was rooted in their creation myths, which told of gods sacrificing themselves to create the world. By offering human blood, the Aztecs were continuing this divine cycle of sacrifice and renewal. Without it, the sun wouldn't rise, the crops wouldn't grow, and the world would fall into chaos. The Aztecs saw human sacrifice as a necessary act to maintain the order of the universe, and the world would end. This belief was so strong that it shaped their entire society, influencing their politics, their economy, and their daily lives. This belief led to the practice of human sacrifice, a dark and controversial aspect of Aztec religion. While it is difficult for us to understand today, for the Aztecs it was a deeply spiritual act, one that connected them to their gods and ensured the survival of their world. Huitzilopochtli was the most important god in the Aztec pantheon. He was the god of the sun, war, and sacrifice. The Aztecs believed that Huitzilopochtli needed daily nourishment of human hearts to continue his battle against the darkness each night. This belief fueled their constant need for war and captives to sacrifice. Huitzilopochtli was believed to be a fierce warrior who protected his people. He was often depicted with blue skin, hummingbird feathers on his head, and carrying a serpent-shaped weapon. Temples dedicated to Huitzilopochtli were usually built on top of pyramids. These were the tallest structures in the city, symbolizing his supreme power. Quetzalcoatl was another important deity in the Aztec world. Unlike the fearsome Huitzilopochtli, Quetzalcoatl was a god of knowledge, wind, and civilization. He was seen as a bringer of wisdom and a protector of life. Quetzalcoatl was often represented as a feathered serpent, symbolizing the connection between heaven and earth. He was believed to have given important gifts to humanity, including agriculture and the calendar. The Aztecs believed that Quetzalcoatl had been driven away but would one day return, bringing a new age of peace and prosperity. Section 5. Sacred Rituals and Offerings. The Aztecs lived in a world that was both sacred and dangerous. They believed that they needed to appease the gods to ensure their safety and the continuation of the world. This led to a complex system of rituals and offerings that permeated every aspect of their lives. From the moment they woke up to the time they went to sleep, the Aztecs performed rituals. They made offerings of food, flowers, incense, and even blood to please the gods. These offerings were not seen as gifts but as necessities to keep the cosmic balance in check. Section 6. The Heart of Sacrifice. Human sacrifice was a central part of Aztec religion. It was a complex ritual not taken lightly. The Aztecs believed that offering the most precious thing they had, human life, would sustain the gods and ensure the world's survival. While it may seem brutal to us today, the Aztecs saw sacrifice as a sacred duty. They believed that the victims were chosen by the gods and would join them in the afterlife. The rituals were elaborate, often taking place at the top of pyramids. The sacrifice was performed by priests, and the heart of the victim was offered to the gods. Section 7. Life and Death in the Aztec World. The Aztecs believed in an afterlife, a concept deeply woven into their culture and daily lives. Their understanding of life and death was not merely a philosophical or religious idea, but a guiding principle that influenced their actions, rituals, and societal structure. They saw death not as an end, but as a transition to another world. This belief was reflected in their art, literature, and ceremonies, which often depicted the journey of the soul from the earthly realm to the afterlife. Their beliefs about the afterlife were intricately linked to the manner of death. The way a person died determined their path in the afterlife, and this was a crucial aspect of Aztec spirituality. Warriors who died in battle or as sacrifices were believed to join the sun god in his daily journey across the sky. This was considered a great honor, and such individuals were revered in Aztec society. Those who died of other causes would journey to Mictlan, the underworld ruled by Mictlantecutli and Mictecacihuatl. Mictlan was a complex and multi-layered realm, representing the final resting place for most souls. This journey was perilous and filled with challenges. The soul had to navigate through 9 levels, each with its own obstacles and trials, before reaching eternal rest. The Aztecs buried their dead with offerings to help them on their journey. These offerings included food, tools, and other items that the deceased might need to overcome the challenges of the afterlife. They also held elaborate ceremonies to honor the deceased and guide them on their way. These rituals were not only a means of paying respect, but also a way to ensure that the dead were properly equipped for their journey, reflecting the deep connection between the living and the dead in Aztec culture. Section 8. The Legacy of the Aztecs. The Aztec Empire eventually fell to the Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century, but the legacy of the Aztecs lives on. Their art, architecture, and mythology continue to captivate us today. Many of their beliefs and traditions have survived, blended with Spanish Catholicism, especially in the Day of the Dead celebrations. This vibrant festival, where families honor their deceased loved ones, offers a glimpse into the enduring legacy of the Aztecs and their unique perspective on life and death. Section 9. Conclusion: Echoes of the Past. The Aztec civilization, though long gone, continues to fascinate us. Their story is a reminder of the power of belief and the complexities of human history. It's a story of a people who built a mighty empire, worshipped powerful gods, and faced life and death with a unique perspective. As we explore the ruins of their temples and decipher the stories etched in stone, we catch glimpses of a world both alien and strangely familiar. The Aztecs remind us that even the most powerful empires eventually crumble, but their stories, their beliefs, and their humanity continue to echo through time.